Nintendo has been very weird this console generation, but specifically with sports games. Whether it be Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, or Mario Strikers, it seems like every time Nintendo released a sports game or Mario themed sports game, they always came out very bare boned. Nintendo consistently released games with very low content, but then over time would release it through free updates. I always found this a really weird practice because it's kind of trying to give you the illusion of value of like, oh look, we're gonna keep working on these games. Which to me was just a little weird because why bother giving the illusion of value when you could just give, value? But there was one more sports game on Switch that kind of suffered the same fate. And that game is Nintendo Switch Sports. Originally coming out in 2022, this game was set to be, a really big seller, and by all means, it did. At launch, the game came out with 6 sports, 3 old and 3 new. The 3 returning sports were bowling and tennis from the original Wii Sports, with also Chambara coming back from Wii Sports Resorts, which was known as swordplay. As for the new sports, we had volleyball, badminton, and soccer. These are just my personal opinions, but I personally thought soccer was kind of boring. I feel like they were trying to do too much like Rocket League, but it was just too slow for that. To which I know Rocket League is literally based off of soccer, so it should be the other way around, but I feel like, no, it was a little bit too slow for me. Volleyball was fine, and even though I heard a lot of people say they didn't like badminton because it was too similar to tennis, I actually have the opposite feeling. Personally, I enjoyed badminton more than tennis, but I also play badminton in real life, so I am biased. However, Nintendo did promise that one more sport would be returning to the game just at a later date, and that was golf. Golf was promised as a fall update to Switch Sports back in 2022. However, if I do remember correctly, it did get delayed until winter. But around the same time, there was also a data mine, and that data mine had something very interesting. Within the code of the game, there was text that was found that sort of implied that 2 more sports would be coming to Switch Sports. Within those 2 sports, there was one old game and one new one. But time passed, and overall I think people just came to terms that, probably no more sports were going to be coming to Switch Sports. But after what happened recently, I'm kind of reassessing whether I think Switch Sports might get another sport. The returning sport was a sport from Wii Sports Resort. Say that 10 times quick, I dare you. And that sport being basketball. And for those of you who did watch the last Nintendo Direct, you should know that even after this long dry spell of not, getting any updates or any news about Switch Sports, they're actually adding a new game, which is basketball. So clearly the data mine did have some validity to it, which then begs the question, is the other new sport, which is dodgeball, actually coming to Switch Sports now too? Honestly, it's really hard to say. Personally, I think it's been so long that even if you would have told me that basketball was coming, I would have said, no, you're crazy. But I mean, hey, it happened, so who knows? I still feel like we probably won't see dodgeball personally, because if they do bring it in, that means we'll now have 9 sports, and with the 8 sports with the way that it's laid out on the screen, it works nicely, because the way it is now, all you need to do is bring the shuffle button beside the change clothes option and put basketball there, and then there you go. Everything works fine. But if you add another sports to the mix, then you kind of have to make everything kind of like a 3x3 square, and I don't think they're going to go through all that work. But you never know. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think we're going to have dodgeball in Switch Sports? Let me know down in the comments. And until next time, 我哋